FURINA's kit has changed, and I'm not gonna waste your time with a lot of info because it will probably change once again. And keep in mind that this is not the final beta, and until the final version of beta, I hope you guys can wait. And stop attacking each other in the community for thinking that FURINA isn't a good character and you shouldn't wish for her at all, mind you, in a non-competitive game, which is stupid in my opinion. So all I'm going to say is that pull for whoever you like, because stat doesn't matter as much as you think, and having fun should always be the #1 priority. Now, with that in mind, let's talk about the recent changes. First one, her C2 was swapped with her C6. And what does it exactly mean? Well, her C2 used to provide on-field healing and temporary Hydro infusion, mind you for a short duration of time, to have her as a more of an on-field character, and judging by the community's reaction, it was a must-have constellation due to the fact that it was when she does an elemental skill, she gets a buff for 10 seconds, and that buff would make her normal, charged, and plunging attacks inflict Hydro damage boosted by 15% of her max HP, and OSHA form made her attacks heal all allies of 3% based on her max HP, and the Numa form could make her teammates lose HP to buff FURINA's normal, charged, and plunging attacks, which pretty much meant that she could have been a DPS character. Now with these changes to her C2, stacks generated after burst reaches 300 will be converted to HP percent for FURINA by 0.4% each, up to 130%. Meaning, her stack generation from HP changes of her is doubled now, but that's not all. Her C3 was also swapped with her C5, and C3 was a simple constellation which would increase her elemental skill talent by 3 levels, and her C5 would increase her burst talent level by 3. So now if you go for her C3, you would see a boost to her burst instead of her elemental skill. She also received a minor buff to her burst which made her burst cost from 70 energy to 60, which may not sound like a lot, but it is a nice change that I think should stay until her final version. And that's not all, because they also decreased the cooldown of her burst from 18 seconds to 15 seconds for a better uptime on her burst, while the duration remains the same, and the max stack that could be generated from her burst has decreased from 450 to 300. Now, this might have seemed like a nerf, but not really, because her damage bonus per stack got increased, meaning it went from 0.21% to 0.24. Now, because beforehand at 300 stacks the boost would have been 63%, and now with 300 stacks you will be able to reach 72%, this increase is quite significant in the grand scheme of things, even though it might sound like a nerf to a lot of people. Lastly, all the animals that she summoned from her skill got buffed, since each of the 3 summons absorbs HP of an active character to increase their own damage, and per the recent changes, the new multipliers have higher HP consumption, and this implies that the summons can now quickly max out their off-field damage to dish out bigger numbers, which as of now, Octopus consumes 2.4% of HP, up from 2%, and Seahorse is increased from 1% to 1.6%, and HP consumption of the Crab has increased from 3% to 3.6%. Also, remember, by bringing a team-wide healer on your team, you will increase your chance of reaching higher stacks with FURINA and deal more damage overall. Basically, I would advise you to wait for the final beta, because I'm sure we will once again see the changes for her, and I bet it's gonna be for the better, because remember, before every archon got released, we had the same conversation because everyone kept saying that Raiden will be trash, Nahida will be trash, and now they're considered great units in the game, and people have realized that the maximum potential of those characters was hidden and they can be used in a lot of different teams. And I personally am excited for FURINA because of what she can bring, and the walking on water mechanic is gonna be really crazy and really useful, and I'm sure many of you guys are already excited as well, and you don't care if the stats gets worse. Same as me, I don't care if FURINA gets worse, but if you do, it's up to you and it's respectable. With all that in mind, stay positive and wishing you guys all the luck, and I will keep you guys updated as soon as I can, so please consider subscribing to stay tuned, and it will help me stay motivated to create a lot more content in the upcoming days, and I bet you won't regret it. Have a good day or night, and peace.